Good afternoon. We're here live in Mammal Nursery here at Wildcare, Oklahoma. We're going to feed some baby squirrels and talk a little bit about Oklahoma's second baby squirrel season. We have Elise here, our Director of Animal Care staff member Mac, and then we have one of our fellows here, Kenna. And for reasons unknown to me and unknown to them, they all match in like a reddish purple top today, so that's kind of weird. But anyway, Elise, explain to us the two squirrel baby season here.
So, yep, this is our second baby season of the year for squirrels. The first season is usually a little bit bigger, and it starts in February and can go on into April. And right now we're in the midst of our second baby squirrel season, where they have a second litter for the year, or maybe their first litter if springtime didn't go so well. So right now we have, I'm going to take a guess at maybe 30 plus squirrels. Most of them are getting fed 4 times a day. So yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. Matt, tell us a little bit about what somebody should do if they find a baby squirrel that might be orphaned or abandoned.
Yeah, so the best thing to do if you find an orphaned or abandoned squirrel is definitely to give us a call first. Depending on the situation, we can try and reunite, but if you find him like in the middle of the street, there's no trees nearby, very cold and lethargic, always feel free to bring him straight into us. But like I said, the best thing is to call, that way we can evaluate the situation and give you the best possible outcome from there.
If you find squirrels, I have a question. And are they kind of like cottontails? Do the mother leave them during the day?
Typically, but they'll leave them in the nest. Like they won't leave them in the middle of a busy street or something like that. So they'll usually be up high where we can't see them.
Oh, okay, so if you find one on the ground, more than likely they've been abandoned or orphaned.
Or they just fell out
Yeah.
occasionally.
If they are found on the ground, sometimes there is a way to reunite them with their mom, so that's why calling is kind of the best case scenario, so we can kind of ask more questions and figure out if it is a situation where you could be reunited.
How long does it take before you don't have to hand feed the squirrels?
It takes a couple of weeks. I mean, it's a pretty big process. So right now we're also doing our squirrel weigh day, which we do on Wednesdays and Sundays, where we weigh all of our squirrels and just make sure that they're gaining weight. So on those weigh days, that's when we graduate squirrels to the next weight class, which means we feed them less. So right now, the majority of our squirrels are what we call QID, which means they're getting fed 4 times a day. And then once they get to, I think it's about 120 grams, is when we graduate them to the next class, where they can start being fed a little bit less. And then we just gradually work from there until they're weaned. And then at that point, we watch them for a few days in here to make sure they're eating on their own. And then they can go to one of our pre-release enclosures outside.
Okay. And so are these your hope to get out by when? Would be like an estimated type date?
That's a good question for you.
Before we release them back.
So we try and get most of our animals that aren't going to be staying over winter with us out by mid-October. At the kind of the latest, but it always depends on how early winter is coming. So some of them will inevitably spend the winter with us and get released in the spring, just to give them the best chance of survival.
And Kenna, let's talk to you. What do you found most interesting about feeding baby squirrels? Have you done this before coming here, starting here?
No, I haven't done it before. I think it's just interesting. All of it's kind of interesting. I like it. It's pretty cute to just watch them really eat it.
And now I see that one still has his eyes closed.
Yeah, a lot of them, the ones with their eyes closed, sometimes they feed a little bit better for me, actually.
When do their eyes start to open at least?
So that'll probably be somewhere around the 4-week mark, but each squirrel's a little different. Sometimes we'll have really young guys open their eyes early, or really old guys that just still have their eyes closed. So it's usually around 4 weeks, but some guys take a little longer.
And what comprises the formula that you feed them?
So it's all made up by a company that specializes for each of our animals. So they just get a special fox squirrel formula. like all of our animals do. We have a specialized possum formula, same with skunks, but it just has all of the nutritional like needs that they like have to meet, and then that's what we feed them. So that's why we always recommend not feeding them something like cow's milk or almond milk. We've had oat milk this week. All of that can be pretty detrimental to their health because we use the specialized formula.
So with that, we don't recommend that folks, if they find them, try feeding them themselves.
Nope. So with any orphaned wildlife, if you find it, feel free to just give us a call first or bring it in. Don't feel the need to feed or give it water. I know that can be really hard because you want to help them in the best way possible, but the best way to help them is going to be to get them to us so we can start them on those specialized formulas or get them into like hydration therapy, which is where we start with a Pedialyte feed. We want to make sure that we're getting them the best care and the best quality of food possible. So cow's milk or puppy formula, kitten formula, any of that is going to be pretty harmful to their digestive systems. So we would recommend against feeding them. So messy. You got it all over.
And one thing I found interesting personally is the use of the warmer for those of us that have had children before, just like a baby formula or bottle warmer to help warm it up a little bit, makes it more palatable for them. Look at this little baby here. How old is this one? Do we know?
I'd probably put him at the 3-week mark. He is a little underweight for his age as well. Not all our squirrels come in healthy, so he's got some issues he's working through right now, specifically with diarrhea.
Yeah. Is that the main affliction usually with them when they're unhealthy and they come in?
Yeah, it can be. Sometimes it's parasite related, other times it's the cow's milk that people fed it or whatnot. So, but his issue right now is trying to get through his diarrhea, and we're trying to fix that so he can gain weight faster.
And then once they're fed, they go back into the incubator. When do they come out of the incubator? After they've been weaned, or?
No, it's much sooner than that actually. So they come out of the incubator once they start getting most of their body fur, because they are born a little naked. So once they grow in most of their fur, we'll move them to a bassinet with a heating pad because they still can't thermoregulate on their own yet. So we'll keep providing that until they're usually about climbing age is when they can come off of supplement feed.
Okay. So what about that guy there you have in your hand?
Yep, these guys are still in the incubator. They're getting to the age where we could move them to a heating pad because they do have a lot of fur on their back, but their bellies are still pretty right there.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Elise. Thank you, Matt. And thank you, Kenneth, for your time. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments.